Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Neha, and I have no siblings. I'm a Muslim girl, alhamdulillah, who had always been taught to respect my parents, to uphold the customs of our faith and traditional values. Despite that, I had a secret I had been keeping from my family. I had fallen in love with a kuffar, a non-Muslim, and he was a black man. I was determined to be with him, despite knowing my family would not approve, especially Papa. He would disown me for sure if he found out. My secret crush's name was Leon. He was kind, loving, the most selfless person I've ever known. Oh, and did I forget to mention how handsome and romantic he was? Mashallah. On my 28th birthday, he took me to Paris for the weekend. We visited that arch thing in the middle of the road. I can't remember what it's called again. Afterwards, we went to the most romantic restaurant called Jules Verne. Then we went up the Eiffel Tower, 330 meters above the ground, where we had a perfect 360-degree view of the city. It was breathtaking. As I was taking in the view, I looked around when he called my name. I found him not kneeling on one, but both knees, asking me to marry him. I stood there in shock. I was dumbstruck. I knew my answer was yes, but there were too many complications. We spoke further. I suggested that he converted to Islam, but he wasn't prepared to do so. He too was a strong believer in his faith, so something had to give. After a long debate, I gave in. Love can make people do crazy things, and this was one of them. I said yes. How could I say no on the Eiffel Tower, overlooking such a beautiful city? The city of romance. For moments like this, some people wait a lifetime, and it might not even happen. After a lovely weekend, we went back to London. I continued to live at home, attending mosque and fulfilling my duties as a good Muslim daughter, all while secretly seeing Leon. Eventually, reality caught up with me. I had too much to lose, possibly even my life. I decided I can't go through with it. The relationship, the marriage. I respect my faith too much. The Muslim community will see me as a disgrace. So I planned to tell him I'm ending it with him tonight. When we met up that evening, he arrived with a lovely bunch of red roses. My heart melted. I could feel the presence of love, joy, and happiness in our relationship. The connection was like nothing I've ever experienced. I couldn't find it in my heart to break up with him, at least not this evening. It's going too perfect. We went for a long boat ride around London Thames. He never failed to surprise me. I can't believe I'm going to break his heart, and mine too, in the process. I tried to reason with myself. We'll both find someone else. Even if I don't love that person I end up with, at least I can honestly say I've experienced love with him. I know now that love has no boundaries. I could feel my eyes starting to tear up as I drove home. I won't see him again for another month because of Ramadan. Nothing on earth can stop me from telling him then. Or so I thought. 2 weeks had passed since I'd seen him, and there was a pressing issue. I had missed my monthly cycle. Maybe it's the stress of everything. I told myself I'm sure I'll be fine, inshallah. We met up after Ramadan and I told him about my missed period. So we went to buy a pregnancy test kit together. As I looked down at the results, I had realized my greatest fear coming true. It was positive. That's when my life changed drastically. It was like the world was caving in on me. I immediately knew my life would be in danger. Papa would disown me. My uncles would kill me, no doubt about that. Leon assured me that he would protect me. But if he stood in their way, they would kill him too. How sweet of him. He's also my protector. We didn't know what to do. We decided to go see a doctor to make sure. The doctor confirmed that I was pregnant with twins. We were overjoyed for a brief moment. Then, total silence. I was contemplating aborting it. One was hard, but twins? It's not possible. We decided to move out of London and got married in a small ceremony with only a few close family and friends. It's been 8 years since we've been married. We have 2 beautiful children together, Hamza and Alina, a boy and a girl. But my parents were still unaware of my husband's existence and the fact that we had children. It was a difficult situation for me, who wanted nothing more than to be able to share our life with my family. My husband's family came to visit us on many occasions. Each time my parents asked to visit, I made an excuse. One day, I gathered the courage to visit my parents for the weekend. I went without my husband and the kids. It was the first time we've been apart. I was super happy to see my parents. After 8 years, my mother embraced me with tears of joy. Papa was excited too, in his own way. While we were eating dinner, Papa asked, "When are you going to meet someone and give us some grandchildren?" I felt like I was going to choke on my food. I felt so guilty. My conscience was killing me. I wanted to come clean and reveal my secret. It was haunting me like hell. But I didn't want to spoil the moment. They asked to come visit me, but as always, I told them that I'd be moving in a few weeks. My mum didn't seem to buy my explanation. She always saw right through me. She knew I was hiding something. The following morning, they dropped me off at the train station. As we hugged and said our goodbyes, I started crying. On my journey home, I was still in tears. As I got off the train, Leon and the kids were waiting for me at the station. I wiped the tears from my eyes so they wouldn't suspect I had been crying. We hugged in joy. As we were walking away, I heard a familiar voice call my name. We looked around, but we didn't see anyone that we knew. I heard the same voice again. We turned around and to my disbelief, I saw my parents removing their disguise. I stood there stunned. I felt sick. I didn't know what to expect. My daughter uttered, "Who are those people, Mummy?" Suddenly, Papa clutched the left side of his chest and fell to the floor. Leon rushed to his side and called the ambulance. I forgot to mention, Leon was a qualified doctor, so he knew what to do in situations like this. Whilst my dad recovered in hospital, I explained everything to my mother. To my surprise, she was more understanding than I had expected. When Papa recovered, we gathered around him. As my mother started to explain everything to him, I could hear the heart monitor machine beeping rapidly. My daughter introduced herself. She had my mother's name. When my son introduced himself, my dad started crying because he could see that we've always respected and honored them. By giving our children their name, they saw the love that Leon and I shared for each other and the joy that their grandchildren brought into their lives. They realized that love knows no boundaries and that family is the most important thing of all. From that day on, our family united and celebrated their love, diversity, and acceptance. This animation was inspired by a true story. No offenses intended. We should respect all religions and their values. Can you relate? Let me know what you think. Should she have told her parents from the beginning?